Hi friends, it's Becky, and I want to open up this April Deluxe Czech bead bundle from Didi Beads. And because I set myself a challenge to make at least one pair of earrings every day for the month of April, but I've only made 25 pairs, and it's the last day of April, I'm going to be catching up and making the final 5 earrings for my challenge. And because a lot of these beads are pairs or something like that, I'm going to be using these. Now, if you want to see some other tutorials for this, Joey Ballesteri, who is where I saw the first unboxing for this, the first preview, she has her unboxings. She's got several fabulous tutorials. I'll link to her channel in the description below if you would like to go and check her out. But I have had several people asking me if I would start opening or using Didi Beads, their bead box. Now this is not the bead box, this is one of the designer Czech bundles that she put together for April with Joey. They collaborated on it and it's beautiful, I have to say. Well done, Joey. And so it was sold out. Her bead boxes have, I don't get to them the day that they go on sale. It's always when I'm thinking about it later, I'm like, oh hey, I should go see if there are any of those available, and they're always sold out. So the May one is sold out. So I am gonna probably try and grab the June one when I can. I think they become available on the 12th of the month. So let's check back on the 12th and see if I nabbed one, but I wouldn't of course get it until later. Anyway, I do have this bundle, and the last time I checked before I started filming this, there were like 11 of these left. I'll link to them in the description below as well, so you can go grab that. And so let's open this up. But I also, when I ordered this, I grabbed some stuff from their sales section that is full of colors, and so I'm probably going to be making one pair of earrings from these two. But let's open them up, take a look at the beads, and then figure out what kind of earrings we want to make. So I am excited to check them out. Didi Beads is a Canadian seller. They've got a fantastically easy to navigate site. And this is my first experience purchasing from them. And it was seamless and easy and fairly enjoyable. So I may be purchasing from them again in the future. So it looks like we've got some kind of gray flower shaped beads with a blue wash, or maybe a purple wash. They've got a hole going through them from start to finish, so we've got some of those. I'm just going to be making some earrings, so I will put these away in a little bit, probably somewhere else. Ooh, look at this. We've got green and purple on these coin beads. Well, they're not really coin beads, they're table cut abstract beads. This is like an avocado green with that purple edge to it. Those are really cool. I think I might use those. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it, especially with these bellflower beads. We've got several of them. I think these are going to be earrings together. We'll do little bellflower clusters off of those beads. And maybe these too. I like that. I like these together actually. So I think I've got number one figured out. And these are this purple color with gold on one side. And I will have one extra that I could use for a focal on a necklace or something. So I've got earring one picked out using those beads. And then we've got some drops here, and these are really cool. They're like Baroque drops. They've got these cool indentations on the sides and then sort of swirly pattern. I like that. There's a bit of like a, is that an ambi finish on the outside? I like those. Those are cool. And then we've got some earthy tones with some travertine faceted beads. These are some chonkers, not super chunky, but kind of chunky. I always think of brains when I get these Baroque beads. We've got 5 of these guys, and it looks like we've got a bronze finish on them with this light opal pink color. I might put those together in a project, maybe bracelets, I don't know, but not earrings. Not earrings. Oh, these are going to make fantastic earrings, I think. I love these big, thick flowers with the pink wash on them. Love those. How about if I use those plus some of these fancy drops like this with a couple of these drooks, or no, these are fire polish beads. A couple of these white with pink fire polish beads. There we go. So that'll be earring number 2. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice together. Now, we've got a bunch of turquoise colors, so let's get some blues and turquoises in here. Love these. Love these. Love those. All right, let's open up the rest of them and then decide what we're doing with them. So we've got these flower beads. Let's put them over there. There is one dragonfly bead, which is the turquoise with a pink wash on it. Love that. I think I might make a necklace with those, actually. Up there. Ooh, we've got some green fire polish beads in like a peridot color. Here on the side. I'm just getting everything out. Some leaf beads with a gold splash. That's turquoise with gold splash, and it turns out it makes them kind of green. These are side drill petal beads, not leaf beads. But we do have some sagey drooks. And these would go well with those. These are more bellflowers. And they're this light sage green color with a gold wash. Ooh, I love those together. And then we've got these starbursty kind of ovals. I know there are specific names for these beads, but I forget which one these are. There are 4 of these. They have another travertine finish on them. Oh, fantastic. This is like a nice earthy, almost patina oval bead. Oh, check it out. These are really cool. Got some square beads with little table cut sections, but with these uneven lines through the sides. I like that. That's really cool. And then some turquoise and travertine table cut squares. Some purple or light blue with a purple finish, maybe. Some drops. Ooh, I like these table cut ovals. I think these might be earring number 3. I'm feeling it. Yeah, let's go with simple on this one. Use these table cut with a purple wash on the side. Turquoise flower beads, these guys. We're going to go simple with that one. Do love these. Gold wash flowers. They're really pretty. Let's scooch this down so you can see more of these. So 1, 2, 3. And we've got these other flower beads. These beads always make me think of feet. They do. I know they're not feet, but they make me think of them. So it looks like we've got a double side on that. We've got like a matte finish on one side, and then we've got a like rainbowy irisy side on that side. And let me see. Got all of these baggies open. Do I have a spare place to organize these into? I don't currently have a spare organization one at hand, but I can definitely organize these later because this video is mostly going to be about making the earrings. So I'm going to stick these all in here for now, just to get them out of the way. I'll get them into my own little organization area later. And maybe we will be making some more things with these this weekend or next week. Alright, so this is my idea for this one. That's my idea for that one. Let's get the rest of my purchase out, and then I can start making some earrings. Ooh, 5, that's good. That's good for a little bit of a cluster. Alright, so with these were on sale. I know after checking, I got a little thank you gift for my purchase. It is a little turquoise nugget bead. I'm going to put that with the others. Oh, this rainbow selenite is sold out, but she has them available in like the individual colors in separate strands. And then this is Ratioed Sea Sediment Jasper Hayshies. They're so pretty. But like it's such a celebration of color. And then these are some resin hearts. And I know that these are still available at Didi Beads, so I'm going to pick out 2 of these for my 4th pair of earrings. Let me see. I think I like these 2 together. And since these are really lightweight, since they're resin, I should be able to add some more beads to it and have myself a happy little, maybe some dangles. Should we do some long dangles, friends? Should we do a couple of segments with some of these beads? I think we'll do that. We've got some time. We've got some time for that. So we'll do this one after we do these others. I'm going to start with this because it's going to be the fastest and simplest. Got some head pins, and I've got some 20 gauge wire. Got my 1-step looper because I'm going to be making some loops, and I like to just be kind to myself and be easy on my hands, and the 1-step looper really helps with that. But I've also got some round nose pliers some chain nose pliers and some flat nose pliers for when I need to do some things. And I've got some ear wires that I made ahead of time. So let's start with this guy here. I'm going to make drops out of these two using some ball head pins. And for this, I'm going to be using my round nose pliers and not my one-step looper. So let's stick that on here. Grab my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to hold this right above the bead and then tip it back a little bit and bring it forward around the top. Open my pliers and rotate them, and then bring that wire around behind it. Now that that wire is behind it, there we go. I can use my other pliers and wrap that wire around the neck, and it will make a loop at the top that I can attach a link to for my... Forgot to mention I'm using flush cutters to cut my wire. It feels like that's one of those of course I'm using it sort of things, but if you're new to joy making, you might not know that flush cutters are like one of those universal, you're almost always going to need it when you're making jewelry sort of tools, whether it's to cut wire for beading on stringing or whether it's for wire work. I couldn't live without my flush cutters, I think. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm just going to do it a little bit faster. There we go. I started with my fingers because I could. And now it's at the point where I need the extra leverage from using the pliers. I just snip off the extra wire on those. So now that I've got these two little loops made, I might just scooch this up and zoom so you can see what I'm doing without confusing the camera as to what else is going on. There we go. Now I'm going to grab my 20 gauge wire. And normally I would have double checked before I started that these beads will fit on 20 gauge wire. So we're going to just check that now. And they fit just fine. I'm going to be making 2 links, and I like to do my links with the beads already on the wire while it's on here, so that I can make my loops and then I can get kind of a little measure with my finger as to how much more wire to snip off. So this is the one-step looper. I'm going to be placing it flat against this back part here, but make sure that there's a little bit of it sticking out so that it can do a flush cut right there. And then once that goes around, I've got it still, I'm holding onto it, and I'm just doing a little bit of a bend with the wire that direction. And that gives me a nice little centered loop. And you can, readjust it if you need to. I don't have to do much adjustment to this at all. Probably could have gotten away with not adjusting it at all. But I do like to, when I do my loops, give it a little bit of a smush with my pliers because it helps work harden that loop. Alright, so now this is the part where I'm going to just measure 1 finger width down from there. This way I don't waste too much wire. Remember to cut the wire and not your finger when you're measuring with it. Okay, and so for the second loop, I like to use the first loop on my links with the one-step looper. It makes it faster and it's easier to do it that way. But for my second loop, I like to use my round nose pliers. So I'm going to bend my wire right at the top of the bead. You can use another set of pliers, or you can just use your finger if your wire is soft enough for it. And I know from experience that from the bead to about here on my finger is 1 centimeter. You don't have to use your finger, or you may have different fingers than I do. And so you can use a measuring tool to check that that is 1 centimeter before you cut that off. And then we're just going to roll this up with our round nose pliers. And I think I need to turn my loops so they're perpendicular. So if I hold my loops like this, and I look at it this way, my pliers are facing the same way. But if while I'm still holding them, I turn it to make a T, then they'll be perpendicular instead of parallel. And that way I can get my ear wire through this one and my dangle through this, and they will hang the correct way. So let me do the second one while I'm here with you. And I'm doing all of these just because some of my friends have missed my longer videos. If you don't want to wait for the second one to be made, you can go ahead and skip to the next one if you want. All right. Go. So hold on to that, push that down, measure it with my finger, and roll that up. Once that is rolled up, I'm just going to make sure that we have perpendicular loops. And then I'm going to swing open this loop. That's why I'm using simple loops, to make it easier on myself for putting these together. Put my dangle on, close it up, and honestly this is one of the easiest ways to make a dangly earring, is just make a little link and then add a dangle at the bottom. Like if you got a charm or something like that, it's even easier because you don't have to make the dangle with the head pin. And I'm using craft wire for these, but if you've got eye pins, you can do the same thing that I did with that. You just have to make 1 loop instead of 2 loops. All right, and then I've got my ear wires, so let's open those and attach them. And this will be my 26th pair of earrings for April, for my earrings every day. I find earring making very grounding, just because it's a small project. It's simple to put them together, and at the end of just maybe a couple of minutes, you have yourself a cute little pair. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way. Let's get started on this one. So this one's very similar construction-wise. I'm going to make some drops with some head pins and those. And this one, instead of a single bead on the link like we did with that, I'm going to be stacking these beads onto a link. But I'm going to be making it very much in a similar way to the way I made those other two. So let's grab some head pins. And my round nose pliers. Bend that back, bring it around. And then use my pliers to do a loop. Okay. I tucked all of that in so I don't have to cut off any excess. Let's do that again. Just a little bit more. There we go. So now that I've got those drops made, I'm going to do the same thing I did with these. And I'm going to do my first loop using my one-step looper. I like to straighten my wire with my fingers. You can use, if you've got them, some nylon job pliers. I tend to just use my fingers though, because nylon job pliers will slightly work harden your wire before you start bending it. And that's the only reason I tend to avoid that. But there is nothing wrong with doing it if it hurts your hands to warm it up with your hands and straighten it that way. So I put on all my beads first, and I'm going to make my little loop here on the end with my one-step looper. Make sure you straighten that out so that you've got a little bend. And that's a little bit wonky, so I'm just going to fix it and give it a little work harden right there. And one finger down. I'm going to hold on to my beads and bend the wire. Do a little bit of measuring and then round those pliers. So this is the same way that I did the first one. It just has a couple of extra beads. And for this I planned before I started, so I shouldn't have to do too many adjustments for perpendicularness. There we go. I'm going to do the other one real quick. I love check glass. It is just so much fun. There's so many fun bead shapes. I absolutely love them. You can make them sophisticated or whimsical. Better. Now let's open. It's a little bit bendy. There we go. Let's open these up. Swing that open. Put my little dangle on there. So this will be project 27 for my earrings every day. Yeah, I made up this challenge so I can make up rules that say you're allowed to catch up if you missed a day or 4. I had a very fun time with my sister, and while part of me was like, oh, I should make more content, I should do an earring picture, I was spending time with my sister, and I just felt like concentrating on being with my best friend slash sister and doing things with her instead of making content. So that's why I didn't have that many videos over the weekend while I was with her. And it's also why I didn't have any earrings every day project. Well, I had one, but I did not video that one. Well, no, I had two. Yeah, because there was one where we unboxed something together and I made some earrings later that day. And then when I was, you know what, this has gold overtones, so maybe not the silver for this one. Let's grab some gold wire. Do I have 20 gauge? There we go. I'm just going to double check these beads, make sure they fit on 20 gauge. They should. There we go. That one's fine. Sometimes, yeah, that fits. Alright, and let me grab some different head pins because I'm going to be making several head pins together. And I think I like to attach them as they go for these dangles for a little cascade of flowers down from the thing. So there we go. So this is going to be making these basically the same way I did the other ones, where you put it on the head pin. And this first one I'm going to go ahead and wrap while I've got it on here, like this. The second one, I'm going to start it the same way. Put it on the head pin, get my round nose pliers. These are them. I have too many pliers right in the way. And I'm going to start my little loop, cross it over, but before I start wrapping it, I'm going to slide that first one that I made right on there so that those loops are interconnected. And then once that's done, swing that closed. Get that snipped. So I've got those two. I'm going to continue the same way, kind of linking them as they go, as I make them, for the remaining three, because there's going to be a little cascading cluster of 5 of these dangles coming out of the bottom of my earring. So I've got that one. And at this point, it doesn't matter which one I go through, but it will matter for the later ones, as long as I go through one of these with that loop. So that's going to be the bottom, the next one, and the third one. I'm kind of putting that last one off to the side so I know which one to go through next. Alright, here's another head pin. Let's go through that. just going to build this cluster as I make my drops. These flowers are going to get in the way a little bit. The more you add, the more they will get in the way. So let's see, that's the last one, or a last one. It's on the end anyway. So here's one more. Alright, so that's the last one I added. I'm leaving that out. Now this one I may actually make the second one off screen, just because that is a lot of little dingles to make. But for this, I'm going to go ahead and make the next two links using my 20 gauge wire. And I'm going to do the same type of links that I did before. They're going to be a simple loop on each side, and I'm going to start with, this one's a little tight on that hole. So maybe I'm going to use some 22 gauge wire. There we go. Alright, so 22 gauge wire. I will generally do wrapped loops with these. So let's get that on here. Hold on. Now that that's gone through, I'm just going to double check now that I've got something that went through it. Okay, I don't think that's too tight. Actually, I'm back to the 20 gauge. I think there was just something in the hole that was preventing that from going in. So I'm going to do a simple loop just like the other. Give my loop a little smush. Push my bead up to the end. There we go. And then one finger down. Alright. I'm going to still do perpendicular loops for this. And I don't think I have to. I really don't think I have to. I'm just used to doing it now from the other one. So that's one loop. So I've got my dangle, I've got that loop, and I'm going to make another one with this bead. And yes, I have decided that I'm going to make my second one off camera. Swing this open, attach my little avocado piece, and then swing this open, this loop down here and attach my dangles. This one's and it doesn't have to be the last one you put on. It could be the first one, as long as it's the end of the chain and not somewhere in the middle. When you add that, close that up. I love it. That is fancy and whimsical and fun. And because I had prepared silver ear wires for this, I'm going to grab my 22 gauge wire again, and I'm just going to make a couple of ear wires. I usually do a little loop. I wonder if I can stack these and do 2 loops at once. Do a little loop when I do my ear wires. I can, they're stacked up like that on top of each other. I'm just gonna do, no, I don't want to do a bend. I want to keep it straight. Go. And then I usually use my bail making pliers for these. I'm going to face that loop away from the barrel that I wrap around, and I usually use the second largest barrel. Just push it over around. It does not need to meet the wire on the other side. You can leave a little gap. And then I'm going to just grab both of those in the same place, bend it up, and then right here on the end, give it a little snip, about 1/4 centimeter from that bend. Then I'm going to give it a little work harden, especially since it's a little twisty like that. Work harden, and it straightens it out. With my pliers, just give it a good smush. And then the last thing before you wear it, when you make your own ear wires, is smoothing out the edge here, because even though it's cut flush, sometimes it can be a little bit sharp on the ends. So I take a metal file and I just smooth out the ends. Very gently. Check with your finger. You can also use a burr cup if you have one to smooth that out. But then you should be good to go. With your ear wires. So now that I've got an ear wire, I can go ahead and attach that here. And that is my 29th, let's see, 26, 27, 28. Wait a minute, I need to do 5. Why am I only doing 4? Wow, I'm gonna have some more decisions to make. So this will be my 28th pair of earrings for my earrings every day. I'm going to set that aside. And let's figure out what we're going to do with these guys, because they are so pretty and fun and sparkly. I'm wondering if I'm just going to do maybe a loop around them with the jasper. I kind of love that idea. Am I going to do something with the rainbow selenite? I sort of love all of these together. So maybe we'll do these together. Like we'll have them sort of be separators. Or instead of pink, we could have the red there. Orange, yellow, pink. And then there's a gray one here. You guys can't see what I'm doing, can you? So I think I'm going to make sure that these fit on here. This is my 20 gauge wire. If they don't, no, they do. So I'm putting my Heishes in between the selenites. But I'm trying to keep that same like rainbowy order. How many beads is this? Is there an even number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus a 9 on the other side. So if I was to find a center point in between all of these, it would be right there. So maybe, will there be room if I went around in a circle for that to dangle? I think there will. Okay. Start myself off with a little simple loop right here on the end of this. I've got this all in the order that I want it to be. Okay. And then I want there to be a little bit of space for wrapping there, so I'm going to grab that little bit, make sure my loop disappears, and just give myself a little bend right there. It's going to give me some room for turning this into a circle. This is about the size that I want it to be. No, it's a little bit larger than I want it to be, but that's okay. This will just give me a chance to get it tightened up a little bit. Will this circle be too small or too large? I'm just figuring this out with y'all for these. I know, they're going to be separate because I have to make another pair of earrings anyway. I'm just going to do a big old circle with these. These are going to be like little rainbow circles. Once these meet, I'm going to leave the heart out of this. And I'm just going to wrap around here. Just as needed. There we go. Yes. I'll make the second one of these off camera as well. Here we go. That's going to be good. There we go. So that is a nice little circle. And for this one, maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm going to keep it simple. Because you can do this. You're totally allowed to take a pretty charm like this and not add any other beads to it. Just put it on an ear wire and have yourself a pretty little heart earring. Sometimes simple can make your heart happy. Now I have more of these from my order, so I can definitely use them in like a necklace or something else like that, or do another design using some of these and those. But I do like this idea of just adding these for now. I can come up with something more complicated later. But I do like this with the rainbow Heishies mixed in with the rainbow selenite, just to give me a nice little hoop earring. And that's it. Just add some ear wires to it. So, haha, I think I have done it. So I had 25 earrings to start with. My earrings every day. And now that's 26, 27, let's be 28, especially when I finish that second one, and then 29 and 30. So I think I did it. I made it for my earrings every day. I will do a wrap-up video tomorrow showing all of the earrings that I've made this month and just talking about how my challenge went and thinking about next month. So we'll do that tomorrow on May 1st. But for today, that's what we've got. I had a lot of fun playing with these beads from Didi Beads. Again, check out Joey's channel and check out Didi Beads, guys. Until next time, happy beading.